Hi, it's Michelle Morand here, and today I want to talk with you about what makes a relationship work. So, we're going to break it down for you into just simple sections of the things that have to be present in yourself and in the other person in order for a relationship to really flourish and be healthy, okay? So, really, first of all, it starts with you. We'll speak about you. It starts with you being able to figure out how you're feeling in any given moment and have confidence that you're assessing that accurately. Then you have to be able to figure out what those feelings mean about what it is that you need in that moment in order to feel the way that you'd like to feel. Um, it also requires you to have a certain amount of self-confidence in your ability to assess your feelings and needs, and a certain amount of self-esteem that you feel that your needs are worthy, that you can ask for what you need. And that means you also have to have a certain level of ability with communication. So not just the internal self-esteem and confidence that your needs are valid and important, and to speak up about them, but you need the communication skills to be able to communicate competently and clearly, concisely what it is that you're feeling and needing and how somebody else could help you if they were so interested. And this all needs to be built around a container of your core values and principles. The things that you would say, if you were to make a list for me of the things that you say makes a person a good person, those would be your core values and principles. You may not be living by those just at this moment or not consistently, but that would be the thing that you would say, oh yes, here, these characteristics would tell me that this person is a good person or somebody that I would respect or admire. Okay, so I'm just going to recap that again. The things that are required in you in order for you to be healthy in relationships are your ability to tell what you're feeling and have confidence in that assessment and to validate that and not judge it. Your ability to figure out what your needs are and also, again, validate those, not judge. Your self-confidence, self-esteem, your ability to really trust that you've figured out what it is that you need and that those needs are valid and that you have a right to communicate those and ask for help or support or for people to meet your needs. And that brings me back to the communication. You need to be able to trust that you are communicating clearly and well, because sometimes other people aren't listening. Sometimes they don't give a crap. Sometimes they're just distracted and busy with other stuff. Sometimes their brain is just too closed to take in any new data. And so no matter how carefully and appropriately you communicate, your message isn't going to get through. It's important that you're able to tell that you did a good job with your communication and that their lack of uptake or agreement is not about you. That's really critical. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. But for today, I just want to drop a pin in that. You've also got to be able to prioritize what I call a win-win, a solution that truly meets your needs and will allow you to feel the way you'd like to feel in the situation, but also considers and meets the needs of the other people involved. That's a win-win. So much of life is about one person getting what they want and the other person having to wait at best, but often not getting what they want. That's called a win-lose or a zero sum. What we want is a win-win. We want to be constantly efforting towards solutions where our needs get met, but not at cost to anyone else. That's not a functional strategy for a long and healthy relationship. A healthy relationship requires that other people's needs get met as well as our own, and that we're working together eagerly, willingly for the solution of a problem, whatever it is, whether it's what to order for takeout or solving a bigger problem. We need to be able to work together and to prioritize solutions that only truly work well for both. okay? Because if we allow ourselves to compromise that and we allow a win-lose scenario, resentment starts to build, a scorecard starts to be kept, and the relationship starts to head into the dysfunctional zone. So it's not a strategy for a healthy relationship to look for a win-lose or to allow someone else's needs to take precedent over yours. And lastly, again, the values and principles. What you would say would make a person a good person, those are the things that you would identify as your values and principles. And you need to be really clear on what those are. We're going to get into that down the road. You need to be very clear on what those are for yourself, and you need to have confidence that those are legitimate and not allow yourself or anyone else to compromise them for you. That's what makes a relationship work. Feelings, needs, self-confidence, good communication skills, clarity about your values and principles, and always working for that win-win. So now I just want you to stop and assess yourself for each one of those things. That's all written in your handout, by the way. You don't need to remember. But I really want you to stop and ask yourself, okay, how well do I do this self-awareness validation of feelings and needs thing? How well do I communicate what it is that I need? How well do I work for that win-win and not settle for anything less? And how clear am I about what my values and principles are and how to articulate those to other people and hold myself accountable to them? That answer right there is your answer to what's my part of any relationship. Why is this going sideways and how much is me? Well, any of those things that you don't feel you're doing with consistency and effectiveness is your part of why a relationship isn't going well. But remember, you're only 50% of any relationship. You are not responsible for the whole thing, even if other people are telling you that you are, or they're just kind of defaulting and letting you take care of everything. The reality is you're only responsible for your half. So I'm here to show you how to do your best with your half, with each one of those variables I just laid out for you, so that you can have confidence that you really are doing your best, that you really are showing great communication and showing great consideration for other people's needs, and you really are bringing your best self to your relationships. Once you start to have confidence in that, it's much easier to tell who is capable of having a healthy relationship with you. It's also far more obvious why certain people make you feel insecure or anxious or exhausted and drained. It just starts to make a lot more sense why certain relationships just flow and certain don't. The ones that flow are those with people who naturally do a better job of figuring out and communicating what they need, what they feel, who are more consistent in those values and principles, and who really are committed themselves to solutions that work well for both of you. So I hope that's helpful. Part one of our mini series on what makes relationships work. Do that little self-assessment. It will be enlightening for you. It will help you to feel empowered. Because as soon as you understand what it is that isn't working, you can fix it. And that's what I'm here to help you with. Every single one of these things that I just listed for you has a simple solution, and I'm here to show it to you. So you just do the first part right now, figure out where you're at on that list, show up with me tomorrow, and we'll take the next step together. Take care.